I think there's
Yeah.
a lot more awareness which has come about in the last few
Yeah.
years of Indian textiles, Indian artifacts, and people are incorporating them more and more in their homes, which is really wonderful to see. And in the for a while the trend was a lot to just get mindlessly get containers from China or across the world and not even really look at what we have in India. But I'm so glad to see that there is a change definitely in that. And I love working with textiles, and whether it's like the jamdari or kalamkari. Mostly we've done textiles from the state of Telangana and Andhra. I haven't really explored too much outside, but because the weavers have been here and the artisans have been here, so we have done a lot here. I think it would be a good time to revisit and start again. Unfortunately, what happens with this is the government, in trying to help them, set up a factory close by, which they all, thought it was a great, permanent job and not as uncertain as for the weavers, when they don't know if they're going to get any work. So I think that's the wrong approach. Instead of helping out with them sourcing yarn and helping the weavers set up looms, this is what had happened. So it has been a
That's
little
quite a
challenging,
pain
and
point.
even
Hi, in today's episode, we have with us Anuradha Assar. She's a pioneering designer and founder of Jigsaw and Mulberry. She launched a children's clothing line in the late 80s and later established a successful home decor store in Hyderabad. Renowned for its unique hand-picked products, Anuradha has designed collections for Fab India, collaborated with award-winning artists and styled homes with customized furnishings. Her expertise extends to working with top architects and designers in Hyderabad and Bangalore. A passionate artist, she has exhibited her works at the State Art Gallery and Shrishti Gallery. Anuradha also serves as a judge for the Indian Institute of Interior Designers. So, welcome, Anu, in today's episode. And of
thank
course,
you.
I can see some very beautiful stuff right at the back. Behind you, the curtain. Is that also your design?
Yes. So we do a lot of very customized drapes and blinds for the store. And sometimes we just, I just pick up a motif which I like, and then we transfer it to make soft furnishings from there.
So, tell me a little bit, the transition from children's clothing to home furnishing. What was that, what was the shift?
So it was a kind of a natural transition because I was always interested in decor and design, and I was doing the kids line for a long time. And after a visit to Delhi, where I saw some very nice blinds in a friend's home, it was and no one was doing that in Hyderabad at that time. So I just started this line, and we added soft furnishings like cushions, table linen. So I love working with textiles, so it was just just flowed naturally from there.
I'm going to come back now to the love for textiles, but before that, I'm going to ask you what motivated you to start Mulberry Home Decor.
Like I said, I was always interested in design and decor, and I always kept a good home, and which was much appreciated by friends and family. And since I was already, in the business of a soft furnishings line, we just took it forward to include furniture, accent pieces, lighting, and made it into a complete home decor store.
So, what is that? What would you say would be Mulberry Home Decor that's different from other, brands, and what is it that it stands for? Because today, people have access for a whole lot of brands. Like, we are crowded, we are flooded.
Right.
But finding anything that's customized is obviously, it's a treat. And you know that, like the time when I'd come over to your house and I went bonkers when I saw that curtain that I've been trying to search and search and search, and I found the maker
Right.
of that jamdani curtain, in that house. And I still hold the stuff that you had made years back for Fab India. And I,
Right.
dry clean it, iron it, keep it. And it's very soft fabric because it's almost
Correct.
probably 20 odd years now, if
Right.
not
It's almost more than, yeah, it's almost 20 years since then.
yeah, so 20 odd years, and I've been trying to keep that. And, I'm waiting for you to make that collection once again. And like I said last
I would
time,
really love to revisit that. It's a little difficult now, but I would really love to revisit making those curtains again. It's been a little difficult to work with the weaver community for home furnishings Of course, they do a lot of textile like saris and dupattas and all, but to translate them into home furnishings, it's a little difficult. It's like they have a block, and it's not always easy to do that. And of course, then one needs to do a bulk production because there's a certain amount of saris which go onto the loom, and we have to commit to that. So yeah, let's see how hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Awesome, amazing. So, Anu, if people were to like build their own homes and they want to customize their furnishings and they want to look into it, they can get in touch with you, and you do take up projects, right, for
Yes,
doing up, clients' homes. And what happens is that most people, when you talk to them, they're very frightened over the overspending that happens, and
right.
then they sit down and they start getting very, very worried. So, how do you address this gap? I mean, of course, मुझे गोल्ड भी चाहिए, मुझे सिल्वर भी चाहिए, पर मेरा बजट भी है. So that becomes an issue, right?
Yeah,
So
that
how do you
is,
address that, Anu?
well, we at Mulberry, we are not overpriced. Our products are not overpriced. We try to work with a certain aesthetic, and we also try to keep the price points, reasonable. So when clients approach us, it's not like a big spend. Uh, but also, we do not compromise on the design and the aesthetic of the product. It is a balance, but I think so far we've managed to do it quite well.
So tell me, what are the kind of favorite materials, that you work with, and how do you choose the products and materials for your own store and for your own collection? I mean, is there any favorite sort of a material? Like as a Bengali, I'm really, really inclined to go towards the Bengal cotton and go towards the motifs of the Jamdani. It somewhere, and it's so amazing that we are having this conversation today. Is Handloom Day. And
Oh, it
when I
is.
was young, yes, Anu,
Okay.
it's Handloom Day today. And when I
How
was
lovely.
young, yeah, and we never celebrated this day because there was no
Right.
need,
And
because
I'm so
everything
glad
around
to
us was
hear this.
handloom.
I'm so
Yeah,
glad to hear this, actually. I think
yeah,
there's a lot more awareness which has come about in the last
yeah.
few years of Indian textiles, Indian artifacts, and people are incorporating them more and more in their homes, which is really wonderful to see. And for a while, the trend was a lot to just get, mindlessly get containers from China or, across the world and not even really look at what we have in India. But I'm so glad to see that there is a change definitely in that. And I love working with textiles, and whether it's, like the Jamdari or Kalamkari, mostly we've done textiles from the state of Telangana and Andhra. I haven't really explored too much outside, but because the weavers have been here and the artisans have been here, so we have done a lot here. I've also been influenced a lot by my aunt, Mrs. Lakshmi Devi Raj, who revived Kalamkari in Andhra Pradesh, and she has been a great influence because her knowledge of textiles has been wonderful, and it's been really good to carry that forward in whatever way I can. I've never really done apart from home furnishings. I haven't really done saris or clothing as such, but to try and incorporate that in my line, it's been a good
Would you ever be
good journey.
interested in getting into the clothing line also, Anu?
No, I don't think so.
Why would you
There,
say that?
there's even more available than what is. If you say this line is flooded, that is even more flooded. And it's already a lot on my plate, so I don't think I would really do that. And that may not be my expertise.
So, Anu, also I wanted to check with you, can you just describe your design process from concept to completion? I mean, how do you decide that this is a motive that you're going to work on? How do you decide on the color palette? Is it seasonal? Is it based on a client's requirement? Or is it basically what is it that you like and you do?
So when we do, work with interior designers or clients, we always keep what they have in mind, the color palettes especially, because it's their home and we need to understand their requirements. The motives is something which, by instinct, whatever really appeals to me is what I try and, incorporate in my work. Color palettes will be the client's choice, but we do help along and we do try and guide them to what would look best for the room. We do home visits. Only after that we understand what the client needs is we take it forward.
Now tell me, Anu, you are so quiet. You don't market yourself at all. and yet you have a very loyal customer base. How do you manage it in today's time and age?
I think from the beginning, from the time I started Mulberry, we have, yeah, like you said, we have really never marketed ourselves. It's because I think our whole USP has been to get handpicked, very unique products to the store, and people who have come, have always been repeat clients, and even architects, interior designers. They keep coming back because everything is, handpicked, selected by me. We don't do bulk. We rarely repeat our designs. So that has been our USP, and that I think is what has taken our brand forward.
So, Anu, tell me a little bit about how you collaborate with the weavers, especially considering that they have the challenges of they all want to leave their villages and they want to come into cities for better opportunities, and we know that it is on a decline, and many weavers and their children don't want to continue with the craft that is slow money. It is not a guaranteed income. How do you kind of bridge all of this and keep them motivated to create the work for you?
It has not been easy. When we first started our Jamdani line, it took a lot of convincing to get them to do something for the home rather than saris. And there was no motivation, for them to do this. And I had to really work on it and promise them a certain, minimum quantity that I would take from them, that I would, continue to work with them. But in spite of that, the head weaver chose to stop working, and he joined a factory as an employee, which was really sad. And we tried to convince him so much, but the detraction of a government job was too much to, you know, we were just not being able to convince him to continue with us. Uh, but now I think, with more awareness in the market about Indian textiles and Indian products, I think it would be a good time to revisit and start again. Unfortunately, what happens with this is the government, in trying to help them, set up a factory close by, which they all thought it was a great permanent job and not as uncertain as for the weavers, when they don't know if they're going to get any work. So I think that's the wrong approach. Instead of helping out with them sourcing yarn and helping the weavers set up looms, this is what had happened. So it has been a
That's
little
quite a
challenging,
pain
and
point.
even we worked with the award-winning artist for Kalamkari, Kailasham, and it's been a little difficult journey with these people, but it's all worth it at the end when the product, you see the product and you see what wonderful work they do.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So, what are the trends that you see that's emerging in home decor? Are there trends, like there is in the fashion world, or is it the same, sort of color palette or the same sort of, motives that you continue, or are there new trends where you are incorporating, other cultures and bringing in some of those things also? How does this
So,
entire industry work?
so there are always, new trends, but our sense of aesthetics has not been to follow trends blindly. We do try to incorporate our aesthetic, which has always been a certain kind, to and bring it to our work. And I don't really believe in following trends blindly. Yes, whatever we do, whatever Indian handicrafts or textiles we do, we try to make them in a more modern way. So it suits the homes of today. But I wouldn't say I really follow trends.
So, what advice also, Anu, would you give to somebody who wants to, start out in the home decor industry? Because there are more and more people nowadays. It's not about homes; it's about who's the architect, who's the interior designer of your home. That
Yeah.
becomes really the cocktail conversation everywhere. And in a way, it's good, and in a way, it is also. It's really funny, but I think what is good is this that a lot of Indian arts and crafts are being revived because of this new
Yes.
awareness, as we spoke about. What would you like to tell them that if they were to
Yeah.
pursue
Well, yes.
this with artisans, because there are pain points, like, when you're working with artisan, they have their moods, they have their times, and sometimes, I mean, I've been writing so much about this, and have visited Fulia in West Bengal, because I emotionally feel attached to that part of the country. And I know that when there's a wedding in the village, the entire weaver community is going to just take off, and they don't understand the deadlines of how you need to address with your
Right.
customer. So what advice would you give them, Anu?
So, as far as designing homes, of course, you have to be true to yourself and figure out your strengths, your design aesthetic, and follow that. I know very different clients have different requirements, and but I think somewhere you can balance that and uh, go forward with that. I think the main thing is to be true to yourself and true to what you feel about, strongly about. And so far for Mulberry, we've always had a certain vision, and we have kept to that. It may not be exactly what everyone is looking for, but we have our clientele, we have our loyal clients who understand and where we come from. So that has also been the unique, selling point of Mulberry, is that we do, work which we feel strongly about, and I don't think I would do something if I wasn't happy doing it. And yeah, it's important to stay true to yourself, I think.
What are the future plans for Mulberry Home Decor?
Uh, well, we are going to take it forward with introducing new lines soon. We are looking at adding a line of children's furniture and soft furnishings. And also in that, again, we are going to look to try and work with local artisans, local, weavers, and see how we can, do a different line and different products. But yeah, there are lots of things in the pipeline. Let's see.
So, Anu, if anybody wants to get in touch with Mulberry Home Decor for their own personal design needs, how do they get in touch with you?
So it's always been like personally contacting me,
Okay.
or through friends or family, because our store has always been a lot of interaction, one-on-one interaction between me and the clients. It's been a lot of personal involvement from my side, so it's not just something which is I take a lot of interest in every project I do, and there's a lot of back and forth, and I understand what the clients need, and that is how where we go.
So, how do they get in touch with you? Is there an email address or a phone number that you
Yeah,
would
there
like to
is a
share on
email
this?
ID.
Yeah.
We are also on Instagram,
Okay.
and we have our, of course, contact numbers.
On Instagram, and your
Though
Instagram
it's
handle is?
mostly, as you say, we haven't done much marketing, so it's so far it's been a lot of word of mouth.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But they can get in touch with you via Instagram or via your email address.
Email ID is mulberry.hyd@gmail.com. We have a store in Bangalore too.
Okay. Okay. Where is your store in Bangalore?
It's in Indranagar.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Anu, for being on today's episode. But before I let you go, you need to tell me, what is it that you remember from your childhood, of your parents' home that, has stayed back with you. Like, I remember during monsoons, the curtains just, billowing, and it was always very soft cotton, and there was something so ethereal about that entire thing, that I've tried to recreate that, in my own expression in my own home. What is it that stays so special with you, Anu?
Uh, well, first, of course, I think was always surrounded by very beautiful artifacts, carpets, lovely homes, lovely aesthetic, and also my grandmother, my aunt, everyone wearing these lovely saris. And so there was a strong sense of design, which I was always surrounded with when growing up. And yes, that's what I always remember.
And that's what takes you back into this place. Thank you so much, Anu, for being on today's
Thank you
episode,
so
and
much.
it was wonderful to have you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.